I've always thought there was a better way to do things and always more. And I realized like I was training, but not working on the mental side as well. Always physically fit and everything like that. But I realized there's a mental aspect that goes along with that. Like if you want to feel like, if you want to perform at a top level or just be your best self, you need to do both.
You want to be a leader during this disruptive technological pandemic landscape and beyond. You know that an intentional mindset shift backed with action and responsible management can renew our global relationship to wealth, health, spirituality, and each other. These are the keys to achieving a balanced lifestyle. In this podcast, your host, Lady Doris Choto, will help you rise to your potential. With a mindset shift, you will put your skills and talents to the highest use and shine with a spirit of excellence. What a man thinketh, so is he. You were born to achieve whatever you want, so spread your wings and soar like an eagle. We are building a leadership community, nationally and internationally, a hub for the leaders of today and tomorrow. We are here to take action because it's time for a mindset shift that will lead to a paradigm of wealth, health, spirituality, and relationships. Please welcome Lady Doris Choto.
Hello, Stephen.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, amazing. It is such an honor to have you on the Mindset of Excellence podcast.
Thank you very
Absolutely
much.
an honor. And knowing how much you have worked through building your brand and becoming the person that you are, I would love you to introduce yourself so that people will know what you bring to the table.
Yeah,
That would be
so,
amazing. So the audience
yeah,
know
sure
that.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm Stephen Rados. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Sydney, Australia. And I was an ex-professional boxer. So I boxed since I was about 15 years old. And
Wow.
then I was fighting professional since I think 2018. And then had a daughter just after my first professional fight. And then I just really got into like mindset and everything like that over the last I would say a couple of years, but more so in detail over the last 6 months. As I've
Wow.
always trained, but I've always thought there was a better way to do things and always more. And I realized like I was training, but not working on the mental side as well. Always physically
Mm.
fit and everything like that, but I realized there's a mental aspect that goes along with that. Like if you want to feel like, if you want to perform at a top level or just be your best self, you need to do both.
That is amazing. And that's why this podcast is called Mindset of Excellence. It's about bringing those amazing ideas to the audience so they hear how they can get to the next level, learning from the nuggets that you give. And it's really important for people to know that, like you say, before people start working on the mindset, one can plan and say they want to do whatever they do, but if the mindset is not worked on, there is not much mileage that happens to achieve what one wants. What would you say to a client who will say, okay, I've got my plan for 2024. Uh, I need your help. Coach me, Stephen. What do you say to them?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I think a lot about that because I'm like, we all have a plan. I'm like, nobody has an education problem. People have an application problem. They don't apply it. So we're great at coming up with ideas and what we think we should do and how it should be done. And if you honestly
Mm,
just sit there and listen to your consciousness and like give yourself 5 minutes time out from everything, you know what you need to do. The problem is actually
mm.
taking action. That's what people need to do. And I think they try and start with too big things like, oh, you know what, this year I'm gonna lose like 20 kilos. It's like, how about we just start with going to the gym this year or going for a walk this year? How about we just start with little achievable things? Because you can always build up, like set massive goals, 100%. But start with
Mm.
little steps towards those things. You need to start with little wins, so that way
Yeah.
you can build momentum. It's a mindset of getting like little wins on the board because they'll translate into bigger things, and you'll build your self confidence.
Wow. I really like that. The little wins, because then they motivate you to continue to do what you've
That's it.
planned to
It gives you
do.
momentum, and from there you can just keep pushing forward.
That is amazing. So if say I say to myself, I want to start a business, for example, and the client says, okay, oh, Stephen, I want to start a business and I need your coaching to help me do that. Is this something that you would approach with a client?
Yeah, honestly, first of all, I would make sure they're actually putting good stuff into their body. They're like doing some physical activity. And you
Mm,
don't even need people like, oh, I don't go to the gym. You don't have to go to the gym. You could literally go for a walk. So that way you're like, your body's right, your mind's right, because you already got your mind right. You know that you got a plan, you want to start a business. It's like, okay, let's figure out what kind of business you want to do. And then
mm,
why do you want to make this business? Do you want to make this business because you want to make money? You want to help people? What is the business idea? It's like, let's get
yes.
some like real value to what you want to do and why.
Mm,
And then once you
love
have the
the
value for
why.
things, it's like, okay, I can always push forward because I've always got that bigger goal in mind. It's like, okay, this is my why. This is my reason. And that will
Mm,
probably change over time. And then you just
yes.
got to keep building with it.
Yes, and that is what I'm hearing you talk about self-compassion, kind of saying, yes, you can start on doing things. And as they revolve, as they change, it's navigating that space to make sure that you build using baby steps, as you say, little steps, little wins to get to where one wants to get.
Exactly. That's it. You just need to keep pushing forward, and those little wins will translate into much bigger wins. But if you don't
Mm,
start off with the little wins, you're just going to be like, okay, cool. Like, fuck, I didn't hit, like, okay, I want to make like $1 million this year. Oh, damn it. I didn't make 10 grand this week. It sucks. I'm never going to hit my goals. Like, you know what? Let's just start off with something small. Let's just continuously build up and make money this year. Or, you know what? I want to just be a better person this year. It's like, all right, well, let's just start off with little things. Little things will
mm.
change the world, not massive steps at a time.
I love that. Little things change the world. And it's how we all understand that the journey to make a change is to start with those small steps. Like a baby, when they're starting to walk, it's
Exactly
just came
right.
into my mind.
It's so true though. That's it. You don't start off running. You start off
Yeah,
crawling and then eventually you take some little stumbly steps. Then you get your
yes.
confidence and you start letting go of the furniture and you start walking.
Absolutely. Well, audience, you hear that. Just take a picture of a baby and see the baby won't start by running. They start by crawling, learning to stand, then walking. And then at some point, they start running. It's There are phases that one goes through or a child goes through. And it's so crucial that we understand this because it removes the stress or the pressure of wanting to do things very quickly. Not that there is anything wrong. I mean, everyone is different. Some people like to do things very quickly, but some people may find that it's better and less stressful to take baby steps and realize that when you've achieved one level, go to the next and to the next. I really like that, your way of explaining things. So because you talked about the things that you learned whilst you were doing boxing, what elements would you say you're actually bringing into your coaching that you learned from the disciplines of what you were doing when you were doing boxing?
The disciplines I learned from doing boxing is it's honestly it's so hard and it's such a like draining sport. And honestly, I just learned how to be tough and get through it no matter what. Because at the end of the day, like so you have to fight in front of a crowd of half the people want to see you win and half the people want to see you get knocked out. It's not like an in between. Like people want to see you lose, people want to see you win, and they want to see you get hurt. So it's
Oh,
like you always have that in your mind. You're like, okay, if I don't perform here, then I'm just gonna get knocked out in the ring. Like it's always like doing what you need to do no matter what. Just that mental
mm.
toughness of like pushing through. It's always like, all right, there's more to be done, more to be done. Because if you don't, you're gonna get found out on fight night. It's not just about talking. You always have to take action. Action over talking, always.
Action over talking. I love it. So, because somebody said to me, I can't remember who, but they said, talk is cheap because anyone can talk,
Yeah,
anyone can
it's
say
so true.
anything. It's the doing that is needed. And when you're saying in that space, there are people who want you to win, and there are people who want you to lose. I mean, that is so, it's quite funny that in life there are people who really are spurring you on so you can get to the next level. And there's a number of people who they also don't want you to win. What would you do to encourage clients who say they've got friends and family around, and some of them want to encourage them, some of them may not? What would you say to your clients?
Yeah, I've always thought about that as well because I'm like, when you start to change, some people like it, some people don't. It's like I said, it's life. Some people want to see you win, some people don't. But when you're so focused on what you're doing, your goal, your purpose, none of that really matters because the ones who
Mm,
support you are always going to be there. And then I
mm,
was actually with my friends on the weekend, and it was Australia Day, and they were drinking, and I don't drink. And anyway, they're like, we're always going to be around no matter what. And they're like, if you don't drink, we'll support you. They go, no matter what you're doing, we'll support you. You need to have friends that are going to support you no matter what. Like I always say, if you can go out with your friends without drinking, they're good people.
mm,
If you can only be around people that have to drink or you have to partake in like certain activities, then they're not
mm.
really your friends. If you should have a good people around you that want to see you do well no matter what.
I love that. But how do you find those friends, Stephen? Because some people struggle to find good friends.
Definitely. It is a hard thing, but I feel like it's a lot of just seeing who works with you. It's okay. You
Mm,
don't have to mesh so well with everybody. You can connect with some people on a deeper level and some people on a not so deep level. It's just about
mm.
finding who actually works for you and staying focused on yourself. And you're going to attract those people when you're like goal driven and purpose driven. You'll find those people just along the way.
Wow. And in your own experience, when you say you found your friends along the way, this is from the boxing space, from the coaching space, from some of the activities that you do.
Yeah, so I've got a best friend who I've been friends with since year seven. And then I've got
Oh,
like, yeah. So we've been best friends since I was in year seven. He's 2 years older than me. And then
yeah.
I've got best mates who I've known for like 5 years. Like I met them like 5 years ago, but we've become best friends over, I'd say, like the last year because the
Yeah.
journey of just life has just brought us back together and we've just gotten closer. Like we met a long time ago and then, we both just did our own thing. And then, just him being focused on him, me being focused on me,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Life just connected us again. That's just how it works. Stay focused on your journey. And the right
Mm.
people you're just going to connect with one way or another.
That is so helpful. And because, with COVID and the whole landscape of how we used to meet with people and become or build relationships, everything has changed now and flipped. And it's almost like some people are struggling to transition from the time that COVID happened. And some people really are isolated. And if these clients are crying out for help and don't know what to do, and somebody like you would be able to support them, to coach them, what would you say where would they go to be able to access to your services, Stephen?
For me, I have Instagram. It's Stephen Rados. Same thing. I'm on Facebook. That's
Yeah.
mainly what I use.
Okay. And clients, you hear that? Stephen Rados is spelled
Yep.
Rados. So you're on Instagram and you're on Facebook. And
Yep.
anyone who wants to access your services, they come to your Instagram page and also your Facebook page, Stephen Rados. That is amazing. So as I'm talking to the audience and they are hearing the services that you offer, which sound really amazing, because in this challenging time, we need more people like you, Stephen, who offer services that help people change their mindset. Because if we don't change the way we think, nothing changes. So we've got young people, we've got mid-range, we've got people who are also looking at themselves thinking, maybe it's too late. What do I do? Any offers of support that you can give them?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I was actually talking to my uncle, who is a lot older than me. He's 50
Mm,
something years old the other day. And he's been watching the videos that I've been posting online. And he was asking me for some help with some problems that he's actually having. And then we're sitting there and he goes, man, he goes, look, he goes, I was watching your videos. He goes, and I thought, like, I don't know it all. He goes, times change. He goes, information changes. He goes, and I'm a
mm,
lot older than you. He goes, whereas you have new information that I don't have. He goes, so like, you can always learn more of somebody, whether they're older or younger. There's always a different perspective. And someone's
mm,
perspective may give your perspective a different view or a different angle to the way you can see things. And then you can put it
yeah.
into play. And if you take a little bit of information from everyone, you can try little things and then find out what works for you. Don't be so
Mm,
stuck on like thinking you know everything, because you don't. You can
it's
always learn
true.
more.
Mm, I love that. So, audience, you hear the element of flexibility and having a servant attitude to learning, because you don't know everything. It's about giving yourself an opportunity to learn new skills, to learn new ideas, and listen to older people, to younger people, and don't be afraid to ask, right?
That's
It's
exactly
about
right. You're
mm,
never going to get an answer to a question that you don't ask. And it's so much simpler than just like guessing or thinking that you know the answer. Then we start to assume, and then we build a story in our head that's not even true from a question we didn't even ask. We just think they were like, oh, you know what, this is our perspective. It's like, you didn't ask the question, you just come up with that in your own head. How about you ask and then you can just simplify
oh,
everything?
I like that. Please just repeat that. The things that people tell themselves in their own head.
Yeah, so if
J-
we come up with something in our own head, you basically create an answer to a question that you didn't ask. When you
wow.
could just ask the question and have the answer that you want, it's so much simpler.
It's much simpler. And I remember there's a good book I read, that you have not because you ask not. If you don't ask, you don't
Yes,
get. Imagine
so
if you have a
true.
child. It's true.
Yeah, I have
When
to
you have
repeat
a
that.
child and they don't ask for anything, how would you
Yeah,
serve
I think that's the
them?
problem. A lot of people think, oh, they should know. It's like, well, not everybody does. Not everybody knows how you're feeling, or not everybody knows what you want to ask. It's like, you might as well just ask. There's no downfall to asking a question.
Mm. But that takes confidence, Stephen. What if
It does.
somebody is not that confident to ask?
Again, I would say start with the smallest things. Just smile at someone, because chances are they're probably going to smile back. And then you can start
Mm.
a conversation from there. Or just honestly, you
Wow.
could walk past someone in the street and give like a little head nod, like, hey, dude, everybody does that. And from there, you do that in the shops. And you know what? You might be standing next to someone in coffee, and then the conversation will just roll on. You guys could both laugh at the
Wow.
same thing as somebody walked past or something, like, you know what I mean? You might just like,
Yes.
someone could have a dog. You could be like, oh, can I pat your dog? Bang, conversation starter.
Wow. That's really like almost going back to basics, so that
Yeah.
talking, knowing people is free. But how about, because most people are now saying they are suspicious, they're afraid to talk to people.
I think here's the thing. I read this thing and it says the world is not as it is, the world is as we are. So it's like, if you're suspicious, like if you're a suspicious person, you're gonna put that out there. But if it's like, if you're actually longing to talk to someone and you want to talk to someone, I'm sure you're gonna find those people as well. You're gonna connect, because energy is a real thing. And if you put out energy like, hey, like, you know, you got like a good demeanor about you, people will realize that, and again, you'll just connect with people. So like,
Mm.
like I said, you smile at someone, they're gonna smile back and be like, oh, cool, and you guys can start a conversation from there. If
Yeah.
you smile at someone and then they look at you funny, you'll be like, oh, it's okay, fine. Smile at the next person. I'm sure at some point you're going to find someone And it's not even anything. It's not like there's no rejection if you're just smiling at someone. It's just a normal thing from strangers passing by.
That's true. I like that because there's a saying as well which says smile and the world smiles with you. And isn't it such a simple saying? But at the same time, I think we should try it. Maybe, you know what? Tomorrow, let's make a deal. When you go
Yeah,
out, anyone who is going to listen to this podcast, this Mindset of Excellence podcast, and taking the nugget that Stephen Rados has just said, that, you know what, if you smile at someone, they will smile back. If they don't smile back, well, it's their problem. It shouldn't really affect you because you would have done your good. That's your gift, right? To the world, you
that's
said,
it. That's
a
your
smile.
intention. Your intention is to make someone happy and do well. So
Yeah.
always your intention is going to matter as well. If your intent is just to,
Mm.
like, you know what I mean, make someone's day a little bit better, then perfect. Even if their day is not better or they don't make your day better, that's fine because your intention was to make their day better, not to have yours lifted up.
I like that. And on the other hand, you could be the only person who has smiled at that person. You could be the only person who has given that positive energy to that person. And who knows, that may change their life forever because you've just made a small contribution of being kind and being good. And I like that. I really do.
Exactly.
So
Even if they don't smile at you, maybe they'll remember and they'll be like, oh, that person smiled. I didn't smile back. I'll smile at the next person now, though. Maybe
that's
they'll go smile
true.
at someone now. You may have caused a chain reaction that you don't even know. That's why it's the intention just to do better. That it doesn't matter
Mm,
what happens after. You've done your part and you don't know how much good you may have created off of that.
that is amazing. And I like that mention of the chain that you have started. Even though the result is not immediate, wherever that person is going to go is also going to bring about change to other people. I love that. And the one thing I really like what you mentioned is you keep talking about intention. Can you just elaborate on that word, intention, what that would look like for the client when you're helping them with this intention?
Yeah, 100%. So it's like, what's your intention? What's your purpose behind what you're doing? You need to have good intentions with things because then they'll come into fruition. If you like just, you know what I mean? So if I intended, you know, with my business just to make money, that's all I'd be focused on. Whereas I actually don't even care about the money anymore. And like now I start to make more money because it's not my focus. My focus is helping people. Money is like a byproduct. It's not a proper intention to have. Although a lot of people start out with that and that's okay. But your
Yes.
intentions grow as you grow. And then you
Wow.
get more results from that. The universe will tell, like, oh, okay, hang on a minute, that's not really a proper intention. So you're only going
Mm,
to limit yourself to like a little, you know, a little reward, if you want to call it that. And then once you start to develop as a person and get a better mindset, you'll get better intentions and
mm,
your rewards and stuff like that will start to grow because your mind's growing
mm.
and you're not focused on that. It's just a byproduct of you being a good person.
Wow. And you know what is so fascinating with what you've said is you're not focusing on the money. You're focusing on doing good. And the byproduct of what you're doing is then the knock-on effects of then having the money. It's
Yeah,
a concept that a lot of people may struggle with, right?
100%. It's like the same thing with training. Like, I started lifting weights now as well as I do boxing. And my goal is not to look a certain way or do anything like that. It's just to build the discipline and the mindset of continuously doing something. And the byproduct of that is I'm fit. It's
Hmm.
like my goal is not to be any fitter. My goal is just to, like, you know, go to the gym, release some endorphins, get my head in the right space, be a good version of me from training so that way I can be a good version to everybody else because I have a stress relief. I've had my outlet for the day and I'm just a better person. And the byproduct of being a better person is I also look better because I look after my body.
Wow. That's amazing. So within that space of taking care of yourself, and well-being. This is something we really focus on in this space of the mindset of excellence and thinking you are going to the gym, your way and lifestyle of eating, of your diet, and then looking at the business aspect of things. How would you advise the audience on how to approach their diet, then exercising, and the business? How is that entwined and how does it work?
They're all intertwined because if you're not excelling in one, you know that you're not excelling in the other. Like I've got clients who started with me like absolutely killing it in business, but they were very overweight and very unhealthy in what they're eating. And then I trained their business partner as well, who is the opposite, who is still obviously they're in like business partners, so they're still very well in business. But he looks after his body a little bit more. He eats a little bit better. He's still not in shape. And then I started training them both separately, and they're like, man, like business has been so much better. We have so much energy now. I can't stop smiling. Business is booming because now I've got more energy to put into the business. So it's like if you look after your mind and your body, just eat a little bit better. You don't have to eat the best things ever, but just a little bit better. Like I said, you don't have to like going to the gym, but you could go for walks. So little things to clear your head that give you a little bit more energy, a little win throughout the day. And then you're like, oh, cool, that translates into the next thing. Now I have more energy. You know what? I can call one more person before I close up shop for the day. I can do one more email because I've got the energy to do so.
Yeah, that is amazing. And I really love that because a lot of people struggle with that element. And again, talking about the intention of being healthy, the intention of getting fit and enabling oneself to become a better version of themselves in that space as well. And I think it's quite crucial that the audience are hearing you, Stephen, talk about the importance of taking care of ourselves, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, and thinking about how well you can tap into those elements to make sure that you are healthy and be able to perform better. That is so
100%.
powerful.
If you're not the best version of you, it's hard to give the best to anybody else. You need to look after yourself first, because then you can look after everyone else. We always used to, I even used to think, I used to think, no, it's okay. You got to like, you can put everyone else first, and then just, you can, whatever time you have at the end of the day, I can focus on my own stuff. But it's like, no, I can get up early and I can start off my day by being the best me, because then I have way more energy to give to everybody else because I've done my stuff. I looked after me. I'm good. Or even if, and then I do that throughout the day. I wake up with a purpose because I'm like, oh, cool. I've got energy to help everyone and everything like that because I've been looking after me consecutively for days at a time, like weeks at a time. Like I'm good. I can fit in my stuff throughout the day, throughout helping other people.
I love that. And that is so crucial. And I want to just question, you said you wake up early.
Yeah.
And that means in a way they are 24 hours in a day. And I
Yeah.
was in one of my, because when I wrote a book about career leadership coaching today, again,
Yeah.
it's about mindset. And in the book, I talk about the 24 hours because there are three domains in 24 hours. So 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours to play, and 8 hours to work. But then
Yeah.
you can decide which hours you can take from one domain to the other. And some people wake up
100%.
really early and they extend those hours instead of sleeping. So, what time do you wake up?
Usually I would say like 4 days a week, I'm up at 3:30 a.m.
Really? So,
Yeah.
what does your day look like? Encourage us, inspire
So
us.
honestly, so I don't get a lot of sleep, and then people like that's bad. But I follow this guy and I work with him. His name's Wes Watson, and he doesn't get a lot of sleep either. And he goes, I'm telling you, he goes, it's an energy thing and it's a mindset thing. And I was like, I don't know about this. So I tried it. I don't have to be up until like 4:15. I get up and I like when the world's quiet, I don't have to deal with any problems. I focus on me. So I read my
Yeah.
book, puts me in a positive mindset. I get up, I make my breakfast, everything's quiet. I start posting on my social media, putting out positive stuff out there. And I'm like, cool. I get up, I make my bed. So it's like I've already stacked my little wins for the day. Stuck to my diet with my breakfast, got up, read my book, I made my bed. I put some positive stuff out there to the world. So I've stacked 4 or 5 little wins by the time most people are up. So just the
Wow.
momentum it has on my day, it's just the domino effect from there.
Wow, that is amazing. And that's truly inspirational that you are putting the needs of other people really in the sense that you are posting positive things so that somebody somewhere is going to be impacted on in a positive way. And that's why you're a coach. You are inspiring because you do so much to help people change their mindset, change the way they do everyday activities, and really just ensuring that people understand the importance of putting self first and then be able to serve others. That is so powerful. And if I were to ask you now, the 3 main things you would say you want to leave the audience learning from those 3 points, what things would you say?
I would say start off with little wins. Have big goals, but start with little steps towards those wins. Always focus on yourself and always take the chance, because what's the worst case scenario? If you're okay with the worst case scenario, you can just deal with the outcome when it happens. And the other thing is
Mm,
sometimes our own ego stops us. Remember, if you're trying to do better for somebody else, and you know what? The fear of rejection is your own ego. Remember, the intention behind your actions is to do better for them. So remember your intentions and your goal, and forget your ego, forget about you getting hurt. Remember, the intentions are good, so eventually good will come back to you.
that is so amazing. And I really appreciate that. I have a question. There
Yeah.
are clients out there who will say, you know what, Stephen, I've done so much good and people have never, and I didn't get the best, and people were just horrible. What would you say to somebody like that?
If you're focused on the fact that people are still horrible, your intention wasn't completely good from the start. Your intention should just be good. And you won't even focus on what's coming back to you, because you'll know it doesn't matter. Eventually, it will happen. You're just doing the best
Wow.
that you can. Don't focus on that. It's
Mm.
okay. You're not worried about that.
Wow.
Otherwise, then you're just doing it for a transaction. It's basically a business deal.
Wow. Stephen, that is amazing. And I would like to ask you another question. A
Yeah.
client will say, I want to understand about relationships, right? Just because we talked about health, we talked about well-being and mindset. There are people out there who are sitting thinking, what about relationships? How does that work? What would you say to them?
Well, if you're the best version of yourself and you're in a relationship, you're coming home happy, or you know what I mean, you just focus on yourself. So you're just feeling good. You're going to put that out there to your friends, your partners, anyone that you have any type of relationship with. That it's just energy. It's just going to be energy transfer. You're feeling good. They're going to take notice of that. So they're going to feel good being around you. And it would just
Yeah.
build you guys up.
Oh, wow. I think this is the best advice that we can get, audience, and just listening to the nuggets that Stephen has given. And I really think that in this current environment, we do need more people like you, Stephen, who bring to the table positive thoughts, different mindset, creating a tribe of people who have intentions to go out there and make a difference, because we need that, because there's a lot of negativity that can happen. But if you listen to what Stephen has said, it's about focusing on things that make a difference to you, first of all, and having an intention and making sure that you focus on the little wins. And I love that. It takes the pressure off you, because if you're studying, if you're going to work, if you have a business, it's looking at the small steps and then building on that. That is so powerful. So what is there anything you want to say to the audience? I know that you spoke about your Instagram, you spoke about your Facebook, that's where people get you. Would you like to say that again, please, so the audience know how to contact you?
Yeah, so it's Stephen Rados on Instagram, StevenRados, and then just Stephen Rados on Facebook as well, same thing. That's basically what I use. I use mostly Facebook and Instagram.
That is so amazing. It's such an absolute honor to have you on this podcast. And I do hope you will come back again and tell us more about the things that are happening and as you develop your brand and more ideas about your coaching. And if there's anything else you want to say to the audience as a last thing, Stephen?
Just thank you for having me on. I'd love to come back and do it. It's been amazing. You've been amazing. And guys, just go out and start with baby steps of bettering yourself. You can always do something. Listen to that little voice inside your head that says, hey, we don't need to eat that bad thing. Or you know what? We can go for a walk today. Pay attention to your own voice in your own head. Do good things.
I love that. Love that. Love that. Thank you so much, Stephen. And the takeaways that everyone has noted. I'm sure next time we come back and if we have this session again, we will get more, and we really, really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Lady D offers one-on-one and group coaching with 10 master keys. These systems and structures will realign you with what you were born to do. Lady D delivers hands-on coaching, training, and mentoring with boldness, empathy, diplomacy, respect, wisdom, and inclusion in a safe environment, breeding true community spirit. Sharpen your strengths, talents, and gifts to avoid pitfalls. Get networked with confidence to excel. Begin your journey today by going to careerleadershipcoachingtoday.com or dorschoto.com.